Social media is blowing up over rumors that Americans could get $5,000 stimulus checks from something called the DOGE Dividend. One viral video even claims some people could get up to $8,000. But how real is this? Is this actually happening? And most importantly, when would the money arrive? Today we're breaking it all down. Who's eligible, when the checks could arrive, and what you need to know before making any plans for that money. So don't go anywhere, because a little later in this video, I'm also going to tell you about a separate $1,400 stimulus check that you may still be able to claim before April 15th. So real quick, where did all of this talk about DOGE stimulus checks suddenly come from? It all comes down to a plan called the DOGE Dividend. This idea was first proposed by James Fishback, an investment firm CEO and advisor to the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE. His plan? Take 20% of DOGE's budget savings and send that money back to taxpayers. With $2 trillion in potential savings, that would mean $400 billion set aside for payouts, or roughly $5,000 per household. Some viral videos have taken this even further, claiming households could get up to $8,000. But when I looked at the original source material, I couldn't find anything to support that claim. Even still, $5,000 sounds pretty good, right? Imagine waking up to a check like that. If you got a $5,000 stimulus check, what's the first thing that you would use it for? Rent, groceries, debt, something fun? Let me know in the comments. Because here's the thing, Fishback made a pretty compelling case for the DOGE dividend. He claimed that the federal government has broken its promise to taxpayers, that hardworking Americans have paid trillions of dollars into the system, but that money has been wasted on things that don't actually help the American people. He argues that the taxpayers deserve a refund on any savings that DOGE helps uncover. And apparently Elon Musk agreed, because he replied to Fishback's post with just 5 words, "We'll check with the president." That was all it took for social media to explode with excitement, with people convinced that these checks could be on their way soon. And when Trump acknowledged the DOGE dividend idea at an event in Florida, the speculation went into overdrive. Trump said, quote, "There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the DOGE savings to American citizens, and 20% goes to paying down the debt," end quote. That wasn't a full endorsement, but it was enough to get people asking, how soon could this happen? Where do I sign up? How much will I get? But before you start making plans for that money, there's something big you need to know. Even if the DOGE dividend does happen, it won't be anytime soon. According to Fishback's plan, these checks wouldn't go out until July of 2026. That's when DOGE is scheduled to end, and only then would the government decide what to do with the savings. For these checks to actually become a reality, a lot of things would have to happen first. Congress would need to approve the plan, and right now, there's not any sign that lawmakers are even considering it. In fact, Speaker Johnson has spoken out against it, saying that that money should be used for the national debt. DOGE would also need to hit its $2 trillion savings goal. Right now, experts say that's unlikely. The government would need to process and distribute the payments. That alone could take months. And here's the part that isn't getting enough attention. A lot of people would be left out. The DOGE dividend would not go to everyone. Fishback makes it very clear that these checks would only go to taxpayers, specifically those who are net payers of federal income tax in 2025. That means that if you're retired, on disability, earning below the tax threshold, or already get a tax refund when you file your taxes, you'll be completely left out of this plan. If you're not working or not making enough to owe taxes, you're not going to get a dime from this. And yes, that's on purpose. He wasn't even subtle about it. Fishback's report literally lists incentivizing labor force participation as one of the key benefits of this plan. He points out that 7 million working-age men in America aren't working and suggests that the promise of an extra $5,000 check might convince them to get a job. There's a part in here that is even more concerning, especially if you rely on government programs. The DOGE dividend isn't just a tax refund. Because it's based on a percentage of DOGE's overall savings, it also functions as a kind of bounty system. It's designed to turn taxpayers into fraud watchdogs with the promise of a bigger check if they report more wasteful spending. And this isn't just speculation. The original proposal spells it out very clearly, quote, "With the DOGE dividend, every tax-paying American now stands to benefit from DOGE. As such, they have every incentive to report every instance of government waste, fraud, and abuse that they encounter. This incentive will massively increase the surface area for DOGE to find opportunities to cut costs, further driving up DOGE's total savings, and in turn the size of President Trump's DOGE dividend for taxpayers," end quote. In other words, the more fraud that people report, the more money they might get. And this didn't go unnoticed. Autism Capital called it out on X, tweeting, quote, "The DOGE 20% refund is a clever idea. You basically financially incentivized the entire country to act as a national snitch network to report fraud, waste, and abuse." And James Fishback himself replied, quote, "Exactly. We spelled this out in our proposal to President Trump," end quote, with a screenshot of the original proposal. So there you have it. This isn't speculation. This is literally the plan. And that's where this could have some serious real-life consequences, especially for low-income Americans. Because, let's face it, if you're on SNAP, Medicaid, or any kind of assistance program, you probably already know how much judgment comes with that. People watch how you spend your benefits all the time. They have opinions on what you should and shouldn't be allowed to buy or do, and now they could have a financial incentive to report you. Maybe you buy a birthday cake with your SNAP card. Someone sees that and thinks you're wasting taxpayer money. Maybe you pick up a bag of shrimp for a special dinner or grab an energy drink after a long shift at work. Someone sees that, doesn't understand the rules, and assumes you're breaking them. Maybe you babysit for a neighbor or fix a friend's car for a little extra cash. Completely legal things, but maybe someone assumes that you're hiding income and reports you. To someone who wants to increase their DOGE dividend payout, it might be worth filing a fraud report just in case. And that's where innocent people just trying to get by could end up paying the price. A lot of these government assistance programs already track your income, monitor your spending, and require constant updates if your situation changes. SNAP requires you to report changes in income, household size, and employment. Medicaid can be taken away if your income rises even just slightly. Social Security disability has strict work limits, and sometimes even volunteering too much could flag you for a review. These programs are already complicated and difficult enough to navigate. Now imagine trying to keep up with every tiny little rule and detail while also knowing that perfect strangers could be watching you, judging you, and reporting you for any missteps you make. With everything we've just covered, one thing is clear. If the DOGE dividend ever happens, it's not likely to help the people who need it the most. It excludes millions of low-income Americans, targets assistance programs, and creates new risks for fraud investigations that could unfairly impact innocent people. So, while this hypothetical $5,000 check is making headlines right now, I do want to let you know some good news, though. There is real money on the table right now, and millions of people still haven't claimed it. If you didn't receive or claim the recovery rebate credit on your 2021 tax return, you could still get a $1,400 stimulus check. And here's the best part. You don't have to wait for Congress to approve anything. The money is already available. Even if you don't usually file taxes, you may still qualify for this as long as you didn't get that stimulus check back in 2021. You do, however, need to file a 2021 tax return and claim the recovery rebate credit on that return before April 15th of 2025. You can check with a VITA tax volunteer for assistance if you need help figuring out how to claim this. Millions of people never claimed this money, so I don't want you to miss out on that. I'll drop a link below to help you get started. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the DOGE dividend is a good idea? Should the government be sending these checks? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more ways to save money and get free stuff.